facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.
All right, guys, the Blitz is back. I'm Charlie Winkle, and I'm here by myself tonight, which I never thought I would say, but Anthony and Josh couldn't make it in tonight, so I got to keep this thing afloat. I've always heard how hard it is to do a radio show or a podcast by yourself. I'm about to find out, and I already know Blitz the Bookie's probably going to sink to the bottom of the ocean this week. Or who knows, maybe this is my Beyonce moment. Blitz the Bookie, Destiny's Child. And it was good for a while, but Beyonce, I got to spread my wings and fly. This might be my week. If it happens, if Barstool comes calling, Josh, Anthony, come to work. I don't know what to tell you. I am still trying to recover from a long week in Sandusky, Ohio. 2/3 of the Blitz the Bookie crew and the Louisville Blitz, who were playing their last 13U tournament of the year, took over Cedar Point this past week. Came up a little bit short, ran out of gas in the championship game, but went 6-0 up to that point. It was a great week of baseball and riding roller coasters. So before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my Louisville Blitz boys, Charlie, Race, Will, Hunter, Justice, Callan, Levi, Rex, Cam, Braden, and Big Charlie, and Mark, who picked up with us for the last 3 tournaments of the year. Big shout out to you guys. You had a great year. You had a great week in Cedar Point to cap it off. I'm proud of you guys. I love you guys. I've never really talked about them on the show. I know this isn't a travel ball podcast, but we had the best year that we've ever had. And I'm proud of these guys. Keep working. And one day we're going to have you right here on Blitz the Bookie doing an interview while you sign your letter of intent to play some college sports. So I believe in you guys, and you all can do it. Just make sure Blitz the Bookie is the one that gets to break the news. Shout out to Louisville Blitz. But yeah, I'm still recovering, trying to get back in the swing of things. Didn't watch a lot of sports this week because we were at the baseball field basically every day. And when we weren't there, we were either hanging out or at the amusement park riding roller coasters. And I got to see Anthony a little nervous. Matter of fact, a lot nervous. The most nervous I've ever seen him. So I told you all, Top Thrill was the best ride at Cedar Point. It is the most intense ride I've ever been on. You know, me and Anthony, we stay in line for about 45 minutes and everything's good. I'm a roller coaster guy. He's a roller coaster guy. We've been riding since we were kids. We get strapped in that thing. We sit down and it's just a lap bar. And they pull that lap bar down and Anthony says, "It's just a lap bar? I don't get a seatbelt?" I started cracking up. And then you pull forward a little bit and stop. And right when we was about to stop, Anthony said, "I'm a little nervous." I look over at him and he was a lot nervous. I said, "It ain't nothing you can do about it now," because right about that time, we took off. And if you've ever rode that ride, it takes off fast. It shoots you up a 90-degree angle, and then you come back down backwards. Once you flatten out and you're going backwards, it starts shooting you. I don't know how fast you're going backwards, but it's the fastest I've ever been backwards. And then you hit another 90-degree and you go up a couple hundred feet. straight up 90 degrees, and then you stop for a quick second and straight down. And when you come back down and you flatten back out, it shoots you forward again and you are flying. And when you hit that next hill, it is a straight 90-degree straight up twist, and then you go over the top. And for that 1 or 2 seconds while you are going over the top of that thing, it's like zero gravity. It's like you're hovering for a second, and then it just takes you straight back down another 90, quick twist down, and it's over. I don't know how long the ride is, 30, 45 seconds, but as soon as we got done, me and Anthony both jaws dropped. All I could say is intense. That thing is serious. If you're a roller coaster person, if you like amusement parks, Cedar Point is the spot. I didn't ride them all, which I'm kind of ashamed of myself for, but we had a lot going on. Kids running all over the place. I'm getting older. I can't really ride them back to back to back to back all day. Messes with my equilibrium a little bit, especially on the long rides. But had a great time and got to see Anthony about shit his pants. And we rode it again. Well, Anthony didn't, but I rode it again with another group of people, and everybody again had the same reaction. That was awesome. One of the best rides, if not the best ride I've ever been on. And I tried to tell everybody, do not leave this park without riding that ride. And a lot of people did, and they missed out. Top Thrill 2. Cedar Point, you should be paying me right now. That was a, I don't know, 2-3 minute commercial. It's not free. Send me my check. So didn't watch a lot of sports. I mean, there's really just down to baseball and the World Cup. I kept an eye on the World Cup. The World Cup is awesome. I told Anthony, I told Josh, it's living up to the billing. All the stars are showing out, and the USA plays tomorrow, Thursday at 9:00, in a game that really doesn't matter. We've already locked in our one spot in our group. So we can almost take the game off. And it might be a case where we need to do that because we've got a couple guys that got yellow cards. If you get a second yellow card, you got to sit out a game. You would not want anybody that had a yellow card in the last game to play in this meaningless game and get a yellow card and have to sit out the first elimination game. I'm not a huge soccer fan. I love the World Cup, but in a situation like this, I'm not sure how they play it in soccer, but to me, just as somebody that loves sports, been watching sports forever, I've coached, I'm sitting those guys. If this game doesn't mean anything, there's no reason to play them. Now, maybe you could argue momentum or whatever, and I can get that. So maybe you do play them for the first half, and you just tell them no chances, no slide tackles that would even be close. There's not even a reason to do that. So I could see him maybe playing them for the first half. Again, I don't know how soccer usually plays this, but to me, I would be careful because you want all your top guys ready to go next week when we play in that elimination round. So I've loved the World Cup. I've loved it. Messi, 3 goals in the first game, 2 goals in the second game. And then Ronaldo comes back. He scored 2 goals yesterday. Holland for the Netherlands, he scored, I think, 2 goals. Mbappe scored. All of them are showing out. Of course, Pulisic showed out in the first game. So the World Cup has been super exciting. I'm telling you, if you just have a thought in your head of what you think World Cup soccer is, oh, soccer's boring. That's what a lot of people think. A lot of Americans that don't play soccer, never played soccer, they think soccer is boring. When you're thinking youth soccer, yeah, youth soccer is boring. Maybe even middle school and high school levels of soccer could be boring. I don't know. I've never experienced that. But high level international World Cup soccer is not boring. Check it out. I'm telling you, don't just watch 1 or 2 minutes. Watch a full half at least. I'm telling you, you're going to see some action. These guys are playing for their country. This means a lot to them. It's intense out there. It's physical. Yes, there's some slow moments when they might be passing the ball backwards, which I know that's a big gripe for a lot of people. And I don't love it, but trying to keep possession of the ball is basically what you're doing. They're not just, and sometimes they are running clock, but regardless, intense. The crowds are awesome. The environments are off the hook, and it's not going to do anything but get better. So make sure you check out a World Cup game. I don't care who's playing. 2 more groups tomorrow, I believe, or maybe 3. I think it might be 3 groups will finish up tomorrow. USA is one of them. So watch a game. I'm telling you. If you don't watch the U.S., which you should, make sure you tune in and cheer on your country. But if you don't, watch Spain, watch the Netherlands, watch Messi, watch Ronaldo with Portugal, Germany, Brazil. Watch some of these top teams, uh, Argentina. Watch these teams, and the stars are showing out right now. The NBA draft was last night, and tonight, OA got drafted by Oklahoma. Well, he got drafted by Miami, traded to Oklahoma City. Glad to see OA get drafted. Really glad to see. I don't know if his game is going to translate to the NBA, but I'm glad that somebody drafted him and took a chance on him because he's a dog and love everything about the kid. So hope he steps up his game. Hope he works out, gets him a contract. And then Jaden Quaintance drafted in the first round by the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know if there could have been a better spot. Young team. They got Wembanyama, who is the best defender already in the NBA. They've got a great young team with a good young coach. They were just in the finals, and they are set up to win for a long time. And Jaden Quaintance, all right, technical difficulties, my bad. I don't even really know how long I was talking while that wasn't recording. Think I was talking about Jaden Quaintance and the Spurs. Who knows? Josh, Anthony, would y'all come to work? I'm trying to keep this Blitz the Bookie thing afloat, and I feel like I was just having my Lauryn Hill moment. I was done with the Fugees. I was feeling myself. Next thing you know, I see my ticker up here not ticking anymore. Can I get y'all to come to work? I was trying to talk about the NBA draft. I barely even watched it. I kept an eye on it. Boring. Boring. I know Josh was ready to get on here and fry the NBA because their draft sucks. It doesn't interest me that much anymore. I was keeping an eye on Quaintance and OA, but I like Caleb Wilson. That would be my pick to be the best, let's say, in 5 years from now, 6 years from now. Give me Caleb Wilson. He went to the Bulls. I liked him in college, went to North Carolina, and he said he wants to be the greatest of all time. Now, look, I know that's a big statement, but I like it. I like the mindset. Do I think he's going to be that? Absolutely not. But there's a lot of talent in this draft, and I like Caleb Wilson in the long run. We'll see how DeBonsa and Boozer and some of the other guys play out, but that's who I would put my money on in the long run. I will say, Mikael Brown, the Louisville guard, going over A Cuff, I think is crazy. Mikael Brown quit on Louisville. I hate that. He's not the only one. Peterson did it at times, I feel like, for Kansas. I hated that. And then I think he comes with a lot of baggage. Mikael Brown, his dad, I didn't see it, but I guess he was unhappy and kind of making the interview right after the draft process about him. I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but think the kid comes with some baggage, and he is not better than Acuff. I don't think so. I'll come on here and say that I'm wrong. We got to give it a couple years, but I'll take Acuff all day. So that's about the extent of my NBA draft knowledge as of now. We'll dive into it a little bit next week when we get Josh and Anthony back. Hopefully, Diana Ross leaving the Supremes. And I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but if Barstool called, I'd have to answer that phone call. Technical difficulties. There's nothing going on in sports. I wanted to talk horse racing. The Stephen Foster this weekend is loaded, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to get Anthony on here maybe tomorrow or Friday because I know he wants to talk about that. But I mean, it's baseball time. Let's see how Josh's Red Sox are doing. Josh's Red Sox dead last in the AL East. The Orioles 4 games ahead of the Red Sox, but we are 11 and a half games out of first, 6 games under 500. Ugly as always. This new ownership was supposed to be taking us on a different path. I felt like we started to see it a little bit. We've got a great young roster. They've got to figure out the pitching, pay some veteran pitchers. It's a joke, as always. 6 games under, super talented roster. It's a joke. Of course, the Yankees, 17 games over 500 right now. And then let's see the Reds. Reds, 5 games under 500 and in dead last in the NL Central after having the best record in baseball after, I don't know, first month or something, maybe even a little longer than that. The Reds have completely fallen off. They have 37 wins. Baltimore has 38. Josh's Red Sox, 32 and 46. We need new baseball teams here on Blitz the Bookie. Although I know they're a super team and you're supposed to hate them, but I do like the Dodgers. Whatever. I don't know why, but all their players are likable. I love Ohtani. I mean, Ohtani gonna be my favorite player of all time here pretty soon. Of course, they're 23 games over. Just wrap it up. The Dodgers are winning the World Series for the next probably 5 years. The Yankees are in first, Tampa right there. The White Sox that were the worst team, not only the worst team, I think they were on pace to maybe win the least amount of games ever last year. The White Sox are 3 games over 500 and leading the American League Central, American League West. The Mariners in first, Texas and the A's and the Astros, all 2.5. That is a tight division as always. The Braves on fire, 48 and 31, leading that division. Philly is 4.5 games back. You already know. If Philly just stays close, they will play spoiler. Milwaukee, 20 games over 500, leading the Central. 7 games up on the Cubs and the Cardinals. Milwaukee taking over the Central. And then, like I said, good luck to everybody else in the NL West. Padres are 9 games back in second place. Dodgers winning the World Series for the next 5 years. There was some other news. Dusty May, the Michigan coach, 2 years, wins a national championship in his second year, bounces after he builds a team. Let's remember that. And now he is the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. You know, Signetti wins, and I say he should go take the Pittsburgh job or whatever. And Anthony and not just Anthony, but other people. Well, why would he ever leave? Well, because you just won the national championship. And unless you keep winning them, criticism comes after that. So I see the angle, but after 2 years and then this late after you have already signed your guys, signed your transfers, I don't like it. It's a bad look for Dusty May. I'm sure he doesn't care because he did it. And now he is in the NBA. I think that's where he wanted to be in the first place. People get on these players for the transferring, and I get it. I'm not a huge fan of being able to transfer just every year or a guy going to 4 different schools. Now, I think there's different scenarios that maybe should allow you to do that. Maybe if your coach leaves, because these coaches do it all the time. Dusty May, I'm sure he's a great guy, but he just completely screwed Michigan. And he didn't care. I haven't heard him make any statements. I don't know. Maybe he has. I don't care what he says. He left them high and dry. It's a dirty move. I don't like it, but he's going down to coach Cooper Flag. And Giannis got traded. He is now with the Miami Heat. They've got some players down there now, and they've still got Pat Riley. They've still got Spoelstra. Watch out for the Heat. They did trade Tyler Hero, so he is a Milwaukee Buck now. I've seen LaMelo Ball. They're talking about Charlotte, I guess, is talking about possibly moving him. Guys, look, I'm just sitting here having my Buster Rhymes moment. Leaders in the new school. I'm like Sting or like Phil Collins. I'm rolling out. That was I guess that was Police and Genesis. But I'm also having technical difficulties because this thing, I don't know what it's doing. It keeps acting up. We'll have a Right Side of Kentucky Sports next week for you guys. We're going to start cranking up the Kentucky stuff, especially with football right around the corner. Will Stein and the Kentucky Wildcats. Watch out. Will Stein is putting Kentucky on the map. And Mark Pope got a nice little roster. No excuses for Mark Pope this year. He is coaching for his job. I'm sure he knows that. And there's still a question of, Dusty May leaves. Those players now have, I think it's 5 days after. Is it 5 days after they sign a new coach? There's a time frame where these Michigan guys, they can leave. So Kentucky has one spot left. I don't know if they would go after a big-time guy because we have a pretty good roster. I don't know that we do have room. To me, go get one of those Michigan guys. But that's going to be a question. Where are those guys going to go? Will they stay there for the next head coach? But can we get some football? I can't wait until that second game when Alabama rolls into Lexington. I will be there, and Will Stein is taking down Kalen DeBoer. The Kentucky Wildcats will be on the map, the national map. Guys, I don't even know how much of this is recording because it looks like it's stopping, but my phone's ringing, and I think it might be Barstool. I don't know if it's a Boston or Chicago number, but I'm hoping it's Barstool. Come to work. You can be in here shining just like I am. How do you do this shit by yourself? I got to be able to bounce stuff back and forth off some people. I am Beyonce, so just spread my wings and fly. Guys, I appreciate everybody. If we had any new listeners, they're probably like, that was fucking terrible. For everybody that listened all the way to the end, you're a true Bliss the Bookie fan. We appreciate everybody. Keep checking us out on TikTok, YouTube, all the social media platforms. Tell somebody about us, and we'll catch you next week. I guess. Message Anthony and Josh on TikTok. Tell them to come to work. Bliss the Bookie. See y'all.
on the line. Charlie Scassy's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. Bond you'll find. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Yeah.